performer for tonight. One of the funniest guys I know, one of the strangest guys I know. He's known for many things. He's been called many different names, but tonight, for one night only, give it up for Steve Rock!
I might forget my jokes. I'm a little nervous. Oh, just to let you know, my name is Steve Rock, and thanks for having me. In case you didn't know, that last band that just played, they played a song from Switchfoot, and I did meet John Foreman one time from that band, and he asked me if I would be a part, and I just told him I didn't have enough time, and I just left it at that. But you guys did a pretty good rendition. Sometimes at church, when the offering plate comes around, I like to make change. My friend asked me the other day, said, so you mean you put in a 20 and you take out a 10? I said, no, I put in a 20, I take out a 10, a 5, and 5 once. It's easier than going to 7-Eleven. I have a friend who has his midlife crisis. He's starting right now at the age of 60, and I decided that was too late for me because I didn't want to live to be 120. So I'm starting mine now at the age of 35. I started dating again recently, and I went out with a girl last Monday. She's really pretty, really smart, reads and writes Latin. One of the problems with going out on first date for me sometimes is I have short-term memory loss. I took her to the movies, went into the lobby, got the soft drinks and the popcorn. Anyway, I had to go to the restroom, so I said, why don't you just go into the theater, I'll meet you in there. I went to the restroom, came out, and I forgot which movie I was supposed to go into. In fact, I forgot I was even on a date. So after thinking about it for a minute, wondering why I was there, I walked into the theater, sat down, watched the movie, came back out into the lobby, and well, she came up to me, she was a little ticked. She said, why you sit 3 rows in front of me and never sit next to me for the whole movie? So I explained the short-term memory loss, and she was really, well, it was real nice, and she was very forgiving. But unfortunately, she had to go to the restroom. While she was in the restroom, I forgot again, and I just left. I found out later that she's dating the taxi driver that took her home. And also, I found out later that he became a Christian through her, through getting to know her, and so I figured I made some sort of contribution to the kingdom. I really like, giving thanks to God for the food, but I thought we should start doing it after the meal. What if you had a complaint? For those of you who don't know, well, I guess the first time I met, the first time I heard about Darrell, who's the director of Amite Ministries, the ministry that's sponsoring this event. Before I met Darrell, I actually thought he was black. That's because I grew up in a mixed neighborhood, and the only people that I knew that were Darrell or Donnell or Quincy or Vernon were all black. So I thought he was black. So I didn't get a chance to meet him first. I actually met his wife Julie first, and if you haven't met Julie yet, she's one of the whitest people I've ever met. The other thing is that she was holding her son. Her son's name is Trey. Trey is about one of the most blackest people I've known. And I kind of looked at her and I looked at him and I said, I don't think this is possible. When I was 4 years old, my parents kicked me out of my house because I refused to be potty trained. left some emotional scars if you haven't noticed. Recently I began dating again. In fact, I took a gal out last Monday night. She's really smart, really pretty, even reads and writes Latin. The problem is that I have short-term memory loss, so on first dates it can kind of make things really interesting. Sometimes when I go to Starbucks, I like to give them a fictitious name, fake name, to write on the cup, see if they can figure out if it's me. Usually they figure it out. Names like Tiger or Barack or Madonna. Some people are Calvinists, some people are Arminians. I happen to be a Narnian. I want to go to a short-term missions trip to the moon. I know it sounds really crazy, very cross-cultural, but what I'm really more interested in is the varieties of cheese. I'm an ESL teacher. I teach English as a second language at a community college. That's my profession. And I have a student, his name is Muhammad Ali. And so I was helping him with an assignment, and he was taking a piece of paper from me, and he pulled it out of my hand, and I got a paper cut. And I don't know why, but I looked at my finger, and I saw the blood, and I fainted from this paper cut. So when I came to, I looked up at my student, and I said, "You're still the champ. You knocked me out with a paper cut." I was really upset when Michael Jackson died. I had never had the opportunity to ask his forgiveness for some bitterness I was holding in my heart towards him from when he canceled the Arizona tour back in 1984. I go to kind of an unusual church right now, a little offbeat. Communion is kind of interesting. You could have your choice of wine or grape juice, cranberry juice, cranberry apple, or pomegranate with a boost of essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. The other thing is the communion bread is pretty nice too. You get leavened, unleavened, or everything bagel, except no cream cheese because that might be too liberal. In college, I had a Korean exchange student who was staying with my roommates and I for his American experience. The problem with his American experience is we had a couple of rednecks that lived with us. So usually the house was pretty trashy, and we had 4x4s up on blocks in the front yard. And our idea of a good time, a relaxing evening, was flipping burgers in the backyard, sitting in a kiddie pool that we had bought at Goodwill, one of those inflatable blow-up kiddie pools, and shooting bottles off of the toilet in our front yard with a pellet gun. This was our Korean exchange students' American experience, and that one is a true story. By the way, I have to say, I just ran into my roommate from that time after 8 years. He's right at the back of the sound booth, and I just met Jed after like 8 years or whatever. Right now, and I had already written that joke, so. The nice thing about short-term memory loss is you can watch the same movies over and over again and never get tired. I watched The Sound of Music like 20 or 30 times, my roommates tell me, and I've only known them for about 6 weeks. I went to a square dancing event at my church one time. It was all nice and everything, but I don't understand the whole thing with square dancing, because we just kept going in circles again and again and again. I'm not a huge fan of reality TV. It's not real enough for me. So what I like to do is I just pretend I'm carrying a video camera around with me in real life. And you guys are on it right now. I have a couple of friends of mine. This is a true story. Their names are Peanut Butter and Jelly. Actually, that's their nicknames. And their real names are Jesus and Angel. but I don't even know which one it is. Peanut butter and jelly, that's all I know, and you get to see them because they're going to be the next comedy act later on tonight. My name is Steve Rock. Thanks for having me.